seafood staple in the Gulf that we often take for granted, but its impact on Louisiana's culture and economy was in jeopardy following the BP oil spill.
And now it's an initiative in Jefferson Parish is pushing one shellfish like never before. Josh Robertson has more on the Louisiana Oyster Trail.
Fry them up, toss them on a dressed up piece of French bread, slurp them, or let them sizzle.
Let me stop you. Louisiana oysters. They are, I mean, they're like sponges to be able to grab flavor.
However you prefer, this amorphous aphrodisiac is a Louisiana delicacy in a state that is chock full of them.
Oysters have all this beautiful water, oyster broth.
Tommy Zatanovich runs his family's 6 Drago's restaurants, including the original in Jefferson Parish. He says just as Chef Paul Prudhomme revolutionized the redfish industry, he wanted to apply that same idea to the oyster.
I've proved the fact that a blind squirrel can find a nut, or whether you call them charbroiled or char grilled or barbecued. I pinch myself every day.
But it's not just Dragos. From Bucktown all the way to Grand Isle, you'll find statues like this one across Jefferson Parish, acting as a kind of shellfish speakeasy to let you know you're in the right place.
And I think it's a wonderful reminder, that oysters is such a big part of Louisiana.
Well, actually, oysters have a lot of health benefits as well. Lots of minerals, lots of good vitamins.
Brooke Czar is the owner of Restaurant des Familles near Lafitte, and like Dragos, is one of 17 participating restaurants with the Jefferson Parish Oyster Trail, each with its own uniquely painted shell out front.
When you tour, you want to go to a local spot where it's as farm to table as you can get.
And for the fishermen and seafood businesses like this, the bayou and the Gulf is their farm.
Well, the Oyster Trail came about after the 2010 BP oil spill.
Violet Peters is the president and CEO of the Jefferson Convention and Visitors Bureau and says it was tragedy that put the idea for the Oyster Trail in motion.
The safety of the seafood was really in question, and because of all the testing, the education had to be created that our seafood was safe to eat. Then the tourism industry as a whole, had to really overcome some of those images.
Tourists were not coming here, and of course we're a big tourist area. There's 7 or 8 different swamp tours within 4 miles of here. Tourists were not coming here because they didn't want to eat oysters or shrimp that was coming out of the bayou covered in oil.
But that hasn't been the case for years now, and the state says the industry generates more than $1.3 billion in revenue annually, leading the nation in shrimp, blue crab, crawfish, and oyster sales.
The commercial oyster industry now across the state, not just within Jefferson Parish, is about a $317 million industry, right? It's about 4,000 jobs just specific to oysters.
Now, today, the Board of Health and the Wildlife and Fisheries does such a good job of monitoring, tracking, testing oysters.
And like most Louisiana dishes, it's served in a way that brings people together. And if you're bold enough to follow the trail, you're bound to make new friends along the way.
Sit outside, have a beer, look at this, and eat oysters. Like, how much better can you get, right?
Josh Robertson, Fox 8, local first.
And for more on the Louisiana Oyster Trail and participating restaurants, you can go to visitjeffersonparish.com.